one of the Supreme Court judge regarding the mayor elections in Punjab. He said, today is the murder of democracy, but we want to protect the democracy. One of the Supreme Court judges again said recently, shall we close down the Supreme Court? And I want to leave this country. I can't live in this country because I am seeing every day 2 unemployed committing suicide. Every 15 minutes, one Dalit or Adivasi woman is being raped. But in the streets, especially northern India, every day this Cheddi gang, I think most of you understand what I mean. The Cheddi gang is becoming day by day rowdyism, more rowdyism, most rowdyism. That's why I dare to call, is a Rowdy Swayam Sevak Sangh. I don't hesitate to call it. That's what they are doing. Police is there, the administration is there to nab the street rowdies. But they are not allowed to nab the religious rowdies, fundamentalist rowdies, fascist rowdies. It is similar to 1933's Hitler brown shirt volunteers. Hitler's brown shirt volunteers, 1933. So, now India is in crisis. There is a social crisis, there is a cultural crisis, there is a spiritual crisis also. Some of you may equate spirituality to God. It is not so. So, we have to overcome these 3 crises. I believe social, cultural and spiritual foundations are the ones on which these fascist forces, RSS and its 300 wings, BJP is one of the political wing only, 300 wings, they occupied street power and state power. Here I shall call you one 14 years back what happened. One of the important writer, when I talked about Brahmanism, he said, you are blaming the Brahmins. Brahmanism is in all of our minds. Let us remember that. Nobody is exception to Brahmanism. Every one of our mind is occupied the Brahmanism. That's what we practice in the society. That's what we practice in the culture. That's what we practice in our spiritual approaches. So, then I said, Brahmanism in the mind of Brahmins is weak. Brahmanism in the mind of Shudra or Adi Shudra is much more dangerous. So, our duty is, as we brush our teeth every day, wash our mouth every day, we have to remove the Brahmanical thought process from our mind. This is the only answer to face or counter these fascist forces. RSS, BJP, Bajrang Dal, Viswa Hindu Parishad, Ramsena WhatsApp, all those things. You all remember that there is about 65 lakh army. Additional is the recent Agnipath. Recent Agnipath is for 4 years they recruit the Gundas like National Security Agency in USA. The qualifications are you a murderer? Do you rape? Do you loot? These are the qualifications for Agnipath. And after 4 years of training, armed training, they are going to come to the streets. We, at the age of 70, we enjoyed the golden period of post-independent India, with the minimal rights at least. But in the coming years for you all students, your age is going to be dark after 2024 June. By now, all the education institutions are occupied by the fundamentalists, by the fascists. They don't need any qualification. They need only one certificate that this member is from our Cheddi gang, RSS Shaka. So you have to decide. Our duty is only to give the information at the moment that this is the danger which you are going to face, like what the Germans faced in 1930s and what the Italians faced in 1920s onwards. German nation paid for it. Italy also paid for it. India has been paying for the past 2,500 years. So friends, my youngsters, the students, you are going to be the responsible citizens of this country. And this country, I shall tell you, I went around nearly about 16 countries in the world, the poor and the rich. But no other country has got so much resources, human resource, mineral resource, water resource. All these resources can feed Indians, 141 crore population, without much difficulty. The central India is full of valuable minerals. You all may be remembering that Manipur issue. Why Manipur issue? It is not the Meitei and the other tribe. Kuki Naga. It is not the conflict between the two Christians and Hindus or two tribal sects. In February 2023, our Lord Adani, he started drilling in the mountain areas of Kukis. That's where the thing started. This government, the central government, did not have shame even to go once to Manipur. In Chhattisgarh that happened. Recently in Bhadrachalam area, Khammam district, Bhadrachalam area, Charla area, there was a church was burnt. This is all because in 1990, there was a circular from RSS headquarters. There is a secret circular number 411. In that they are very clearly mentioned. Our enemies are Muslims. Why? They don't give money in hundis. Their enemies are Christians because they don't donate to the temples. Their enemies are Ambedkarite Dalits, clearly mentioned in that circular. Their enemies are leftists. My request is at least all these 4 sections, they can come together and face these fellows. The small minority, numerical minority people, well organized, whereas 90% of the majority people are disorganized, divided and crushed. We all suffer, we are all united in suffering, but we are all divided by our egos. My request is to all the parties, all the political parties, from Congress to the left side, I request all of you, leave alone your egos, at least temporarily. Keep your differences and get united. Suppose we get united, this numerical minority will not stand as